Hi everyone, welcome to BookCravings. Today I'd like to talk about one of my favorite books. This is the best book I've read in 2017 so far. I heard about it on a channel called Books and Things. I'll put the link for her channel in the description box. And I was completely surprised with the quality of the book, and it became one of my favorites. So I decided to film a book talk about it. So today we talk about North and South by Elizabeth Gaskell, and I hope you enjoy. I still don't have a hard copy of North and South. I listened to the audiobook version, I'll put the image here, and I have also a copy on my Kindle. Today I'd like to freely praise this book that became one of my favorites, and to me this book is now the perfect example of an awesome and beautiful romance with lots of content, social content, and relevant things and relevant characters. And I think this is pretty rare when you have a romance that somehow delivers more than just the romance and more complex content. North and South was written by the English writer Elizabeth Gaskell in a serialized form on a magazine edited by Charles Dickens, and it was published in this serialized form between 1854 and 1855. In 1855, Elizabeth Gaskell published this story in like a novel, and when she did that, she changed lots of things about the structure and the text, and it's like she perfected the book, in 1855. The clash of cultures in North and South is symbolized through the main characters. Margaret Hale, a 19-year-old Southern daughter of a clergyman that moves to Milton. And Milton is a fictional factory town in the north of England, and there she meets Mr. Thornton, or John Thornton. And John Thornton is a really successful self-made man, a mill owner, very strict and disciplined, and we will get to know him more. But the structure of their relationship reminds me a lot of Pride and Prejudice. He has a deep relationship to his mother, and sometimes she's a pain in the ass, but at the same time she is such a strong character and really important for us to understand Mr. Thornton and the way he is, what he does. There are some amazing dialogues between them when he said, "Oh mother, no one loves me besides you." It's so cute because the guy is really tough, but at the same time he feels romantic. Another thing I love about Thornton is that he is not an heir. He is a self-made man that values work, hard work. I know this is a really simplistic way of thinking about life, this notion of meritocracy. I know this is really simplistic. Life is not, we can't measure things like this all the time. But I must confess that I really loved the way he tells Margaret that he is not lucky and he went through many hardships with his family, what happened to his father, I'll not tell you here, but the fact that he is a self-made man, he built his fortune with his own hands, and he's still really young, and I truly respect that, and he's a character that it's impossible not to respect him for this. He's an amazing character, and at the beginning we think that he is just an evil master and very ambitious guy that doesn't care for other people, but the story itself proves that this isn't true, He's a really kind person, he knows how to be kind and really romantic, and this is a surprise. He's really sweet, and I love the fact that he is really direct and about his feelings, and he goes and tells Margaret how he feels. And I've read on a short Goodreads reveal that North and South is like Pride and Prejudice for socialists. It's not preachy, it is a social novel that deals with many conflicts, clash of cultures, the consequences of industrialization, the impoverishment of the working class, the beginning of the first strikes and the unions, the condition of life and health issues, and Margaret Hale symbolizing like the privileged class, despite the fact that she's not really privileged in comparison to the other people of her family and people she used to live with. But when she goes to Milton and she sees what is poverty and how those people were living and how harsh life was in the north and how different life was there. It takes some time for her to adapt to that kind of life, but I admire her a lot because she tries and she befriends people that are from other social classes. I've watched the BBC series from 2004. It's really nice, but it's not as good as the book, especially because I believe the series doesn't depict Margaret Hale in a fair way. I really love the fact that Margaret Hale is not anxious to marry. She thinks on her own life and she lives her life, and this is not the main concern to her. And this is really nice considering the time and the context. I'm fully aware that the modern ideas are really problematic to the society in general, but I really enjoy how John Thornton represents industrialization in this story and this ideal of progress, of building things, of the self-made man, the importance of work. And another really nice thing in this book is the side characters. I love all of them, and there wasn't a single boring moment in this book to me because I care for every single character. You care for what happens to them despite the relationship between Margaret and Mr. Thornton. I have only one criticism about this book, and it is the ending. Don't get me wrong, I love the ending, but the fact that the book ends is so sad because it was like, oh my god, I needed an epilogue. Beautifully written, really nice way to finish a book, but at the same time I needed to know what happens after. And Elizabeth Gaskell just ends the books and tells, it's your problem now, guess what happened after. And I went to the internet and I've read some fan fiction, judge me. So I strongly recommend you to read North and South. In the next days I won't be home, I'll be in London, but I've prepared a bookshelf tour, at least some parts of my bookshelf tour. And yeah, that's what you will find here in my channel in the next weeks. I will go out on a bookshop crawl with Reija from Reija and Mimi from Books, so I'm really anxious to that. I guess that's all for today. I hope you enjoyed this video. Please read North and South and tell me after you read it what do you think, because I loved it deeply.